How's it going, everyone? We have yet another fantastic Stellar Blade update to go over as far as commercial data goes and how the game is doing sales-wise. As spoiler, for a new IP, a PlayStation 5 exclusive as well, so a limited audience to work with, given it's not on PC, not on Xbox. It is doing incredibly well, and I think I had relatively optimistic expectations for the game, an optimistic outlook, and it has blown past that critically, commercially, everything like that. So let's talk about that. On top of that, bit of an update on how PlayStation 5 is doing from a commercial standpoint as far as unit sales go. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But right off the top, analyst Matt Piscatella noted Stellar Blade debuted as the best-selling premium game of April. That's essentially games that are at a price point, not free-to-play games with microtransactions or anything like that. And the number 16 best-selling game of 2024 year-to-date. Stellar Blade was the only new release in April to rank among the month's top 20 best-selling premium video games. So, by far the best-selling premium video game release in April. And remember, it ranking at number 16, that's year-to-date, but that is also encompassing games from January, February, and March that have had more time to work with as far as racking up sales numbers. Now, to be fair, a game generally does peak and sell the most amount of units week one. There are certain exceptions. Helldivers 2 was a glaring example of an exception to that rule, where that game perpetually just increased in sales and now has tapered off a little bit, but you get the idea. In the case of Stellar Blade, not really a live service game, but I do feel like word of mouth for this game was rather strong, and it's gonna be one of those titles that does well for the rest of this year. Also, bear in mind that unlike a Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, unlike a Persona 3 Reload, even a Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, I don't know why I just mentioned all the JRPGs, but Stellar Blade was only on PlayStation 5. It didn't get a PC release, certainly didn't get an Xbox release, only on PlayStation 5, really utilized as the big system seller and the big marquee exclusive for this early portion of PlayStation's calendar year, and I think it was pretty effective in that and really compensated for the lackluster output by first party. I know first party definition-wise has been little bit changed recently. Like, it was a PlayStation published game, but it wasn't done by a studio that PlayStation owns. You guys get the idea. Stellar Blade's an exclusive. Probably will be coming out on PC and probably quicker than that 2-year turnaround that generally a lot of other PlayStation games have. I think it'll probably be like a 9-month turnaround like Neo had. That's just speculation on my part, but I also do foresee when this game drops on PC, this is going to be one of those titles that, much like Ghost of Tsushima, the PC audience completely gravitates towards, and it sells very well. And I think you guys can guess why an element of that gravitation is gonna occur. The modding scene is gonna be modding. Let's just put it that way. The modding scene's gonna be modding, and it's gonna sell very well on there. I think it's pretty much a formality at this point that the game is going to get a sequel. It's very, very difficult, you guys, to do a $70 game, new IP, unknown studio as far as the console market goes, and have it be this big of a success. Stellar Blade has been a resounding success across all of the metrics that we have available to assess. Not to mention, solid critical reception as well. An 82 is a great score for a game that honestly I thought would be pegged a few notches just based on some of the aspects of the game, if you know what I mean. And I do think it was pegged by certain outlets for some of the aspects of the game. But nonetheless, the game is doing incredibly well. Boss challenge mode just came out. Photo mode is in the works, and I think it's incredibly smart for Shift Up to piecemeal out these updates. Obviously, any studio, they're only going to have so much of a workload that they can take on, and they're not going to be able to drop everything at once. But Boss Challenge is one update with some new outfits. Photo mode is another update. You'll want to keep this game as much in the news cycle as possible for the rest of 2024. If at some point a PC release does happen this year, that'll reignite discussion, but for now, on PlayStation 5, roll out some updates, be fairly consistent with it, you know, every month, every other month, get a big update or a notable update, maybe new outfits getting added. If you can get together a deal with a crossover with another publisher, let's say get some Horizon costumes, get a Ghost of Tsushima costume in the game, even if you want to start charging for that and doing microtransactions for licensed IP crossovers, don't think that's a big deal. And honestly, if I was Shift Up and I was PlayStation, and if I was any human being, you know what I like to do? I like to print money. And you know what a Ghost of Tsushima costume, or a Horizon costume, or a Lara Croft costume, or a Tifa costume would do for Stellar Blade and Shift Up and everybody involved? Any, licensing fees that they gotta pay for all the parties involved? That's a good way that you print money by barely doing anything. And you guys like doing that, don't you? So I'm sure whoever's involved, this has come to their table. Square Enix ain't dumb, at least I'd like to not think they're dumb, and I'm sure the idea of a Tifa outfit in Stellar Blade, $1.99, $2.99, bro, you're finna sell like 500,000 costumes of that, and you're gonna do like no work. Split up the profits and print that money. Like the ideas that they must have with Stellar Blade, and like I know, like me advocating for monetization, I'm just looking at it from a business standpoint. Look, these companies want to make money, and Stellar Blade, I feel like the base game is worth $70. They're doing Boss Challenge update for free. They'll have more free updates, but if you're talking about licensed crossovers with other IPs, at that point, that content probably you have to charge for. I just think they'll also print money doing that, so that's my 2 cents on that. Matt Piscatella also noted PlayStation 5 again led the month's hardware market in unit and dollar sales. Nintendo Switch once again finished second in unit sales, while Xbox Series ranked second in dollars. So Nintendo Switch sold more in units, but Xbox Series raked in more overall revenue as far as month sales go. PlayStation 5 leading is good. Obviously, PlayStation 5 is dominating the console scene right now. Nintendo Switch came out all the way back in 2017, so at this point, like, the people that want a Switch have a Switch, so how many Switches are still being sold? Obviously a decent amount, but not going to be a outstanding amount. I think when the new Nintendo console comes out, obviously it'll overtake the PlayStation 5 in certain months, and maybe even the majority of months, given the PlayStation 5 is hitting that mid-gen point. But if we get a mid-gen refresh, maybe that'll reignite PlayStation 5 sales. I don't know, but yeah, PlayStation 5 is crushing it, and they kind of dominate the console space right now, because Nintendo, as I've always said, is kind of in an island of their own. It's really PlayStation versus Xbox, and it's really kind of sad what's happened with Xbox, and PlayStation really doesn't have competition anymore. That's why when you have a lackluster first-party calendar year, it don't matter no more. They can release nothing this year, next year, and 2026, and I don't know even at that point if Xbox could recover based on the atrocity that they've been putting out and some of their decision-making. Like, it would take a gargantuan effort, and at this point, PlayStation could be coasting all day long, and they'd just be straight chilling. So, hey, more power to Sony for that. But PS5 doing very well from a sales standpoint, and more importantly, Stellar Blade doing exceedingly well. This is the kind of data we need to hear about Stellar Blade, but we've already gotten, seeing how the game is doing in Japan, just seeing how much attention the game has gotten on social media. Social media data, you can only put so much emphasis in it, but when it is as resounding as Stellar Blade, and you do have it accompanied with the Japan sales data, and now this data, all of it couples together to see that the game is doing exceedingly well. And I mean, Shift Up themselves saying the game has exceeded expectations. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.